Disclaimer: the following narrative is based on open source reports and public claims.
For months, one narrative has dominated the conversation around the Perang Russia-Ukraine: that Russia's military power is weakening, that its technology is failing, and that its systems are becoming obsolete. But on the battlefield, there's no room for empty opinions. There's only one question that matters. Do these weapons still work when lives are on the line? And the answer isn't as simple as it seems. This war has evolved into one of the largest real-world testing grounds for modern military technology. Cheap drones versus high-end defense systems, old doctrines clashing with new tactics, and every mistake punished instantly. But in the middle of all this change, Russia didn't just stop. They adapted, slowly but consistently. Instead of replacing everything, they modified, refined, and integrated older systems with new battlefield tactics. And that's where the real story begins. The S-400 Triumf isn't just an air defense system. It's part of a much larger network. It combines long-range radar, multi-target tracking, and multiple missile types designed for different engagement ranges. On paper, it can detect and engage threats from hundreds of kilometers away, sometimes before those targets even realize they've been locked. But what often gets overlooked is how it's actually used in real combat. The S-400 rarely operates alone. It's layered, protected by shorter-range systems, electronic warfare units, and constant repositioning. Mobility is key. These systems can relocate, hide, and redeploy faster than most people expect, which means the target you're tracking today might not be there tomorrow. And in modern warfare, unpredictability is a weapon. But war is never perfect. There have been confirmed cases where S-400 units were hit, often through a combination of intelligence gathering, drone surveillance, and precision strikes. That proves one thing: no system is invincible. But there's another side to the story, the side we rarely see. The interceptions that worked, the threats that never made it through, the attacks that were quietly stopped. Because successful defense rarely makes headlines. Failure does. And that's where perception starts to shift, where a few visible losses begin to define the entire system. But the real question should be, how many threats never reached their targets? Because systems like the S-400 were there. If the S-400 controls the sky, then the TOS-1A dominates the ground in a much more brutal way. The TOS-1A isn't built for precision, it's built for overwhelming effect. Its thermobaric rockets create massive pressure waves and extreme heat within seconds. The result? Devastating impact across a wide area, especially against fortified positions and exposed troops. But what truly sets it apart is the psychological effect. The blast doesn't just hit harder, it feels different. The sound, the pressure, the visual shock. In some cases, just knowing this system is in range is enough to force enemy units to reposition or retreat. And in war, forcing movement can be just as valuable as destruction. So why are systems like these still feared? Not because they're flawless, but because they're still effective when used in the right conditions. The S-400 remains a threat to high-value air assets. The TOS-1A still delivers devastating results in specific ground scenarios. Russia faces real challenges: logistics, economic pressure, and an adapting enemy. But they've also shown something often overlooked: the ability to keep using what works. Instead of relying entirely on next-generation systems, they maximize what they already have. And in a long war, that kind of consistency matters. In the end, war isn't about who has the most advanced technology on paper. It's about who can use it, consistently, under pressure. Systems like the S-400 and TOS-1A have weaknesses. They don't always succeed, and they're far from perfect. But they're still on the battlefield. And as long as they're still being used, as long as they continue forcing the enemy to adapt, as long as they create real, measurable threats, then one thing remains true: they're still relevant. And in war, relevance is everything.